Hi, I'm Heather Bollinger, CRO, Chief Revenue Officer of Vurvey. Vurvey is an AI platform that has the patented technology on video surveys. We enable and empower consumers to really share their voice with the brands and organizations that they love to collaborate with. We enable co-creation and collaboration at scale to really inform business decisions and have the consumers in the middle of the process. In that, we have Michelle Froah today, who's the Global Chief Marketing and Innovation Officer at ETS, the largest private educational assessment, measurement, and workforce organization in the world. She is responsible for building the ETS brand, marketing and innovation globally across enterprise functions, product innovation, business marketing, and community engagement. Whew. Not the first time Michelle has reimagined brands. She has extensive global experience in driving growth across industries, serving senior executive roles at MetLife, Samsung Electronics, Kimberly-Clark, and Procter & Gamble. As if this isn't impressive enough, Michelle contributes to the industry by serving on the Marketing Society Board as co-chair and fellow, Brand Innovators Advisory Board, ANA CMO Growth Council, and Rye Art Center Board. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Heather. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you. Before we dive into the hot topic from over the last few days, could you tell us a little bit more about ETS and how the brand has evolved over the last year since you've joined?
Sure. So ETS is as you mentioned, is a global education and talent solution company. We are a nonprofit that really sets out to have big impact in the world. We are trying to help drive skill proficiency with people, global mobility, or I should say upward mobility, and that's across several different dimensions. It could be global, financial, etc. And also trying to unlock opportunities for all. And so historically, ETS is a 75-year-old company, really rooted in the science of measurement, particularly around assessments. And those assessments have been in the educational space, really helping people demonstrate their proficiency in things like TOEFL or TOEIC, which is an English language proficiency test, or Praxis, a teacher licensure test, etc. And what I think has been exciting to be part of over the last year is that our company has embarked upon a business transformation. Mm-hmm. And that business transformation really looks at the fact that learning doesn't stop when you're in school. Right? And really, we have lifelong learners now that, and people that need to show progress and demonstrate, real human progress across that lifetime. And that extends from, education, but also into the workforce. And so that's been our business transformation, if you will, is helping people thrive and adapt in a very changing world, particularly in the workforce.
I mean, speaking of changing and this rapid movement towards AI, how has ETS kind of implemented that over the last year? What are some of the best practices that you're using?
Well, so there's been quite a few places. I would say, AI is impacting every industry, right? And education in the workforce is no exception to the being ripe for disruption. And so, instead of fighting against it, we're really leaning into what AI can do for us and for our employees and for our customers, frankly, to give them better outcomes. Mm-hmm. So as you think about that, that impact, what we've done is implemented an AI strategy across the organization. It's not really one part of the organization that's impacted by that, right? And so there's been 4 big important areas. I've actually teamed up with our CTO, and together with this cross-functional team from our teams, from the business teams, HR, legal, etc., have put a plan together that first and foremost helped our employees become more AI literate. So last summer we had AI summer school. Being in education,
Amazing.
And set pathways for people to become more familiar with AI, but also more comfortable in using it in their day-to-day. We had badges, we definitely encouraged people to experiment, etc. The other way we encouraged people to get more involved was we had an AI hackathon. And this was comprised of people across the organization. I think we had over 100 employees, 22 teams that went after certain problems that we had that we wanted to solve, whether they were internal efficiency problems or maybe external, product delivering for customer needs issues. And in 3 days, these teams used AI to come up with amazing ideas.
I love that.
That, we have a nice little backlog now of being able to go and try and implement that. And, I think that extends into those other work streams then, like every other industry, we are looking to utilize AI to really free up the menial tasks that people have and allow people to work on more exciting, creative, innovative, type of ideas. So we're using automation and generative AI and other forms to really drive efficiencies in process. Really exciting is using AI to drive those better customer outcomes with our products and solutions. And so I have that's across our organization as well. But, my product innovation development team focuses on utilizing AI to, we have lots of AI engineers, NLP engineers, learning scientists, etc., who are really looking at models and creating models that give people better insights about their proficiency, and then recommends, other recommender model engines, that would help people set pathways to go where they want to go. So that's exciting too. And then the last way really is credibility. And, this is really important because to us for a few reasons. One is that, we are a respected and trusted partner in the field of assessment. And as we start to use AI more and more in that craft, we need to use it responsibly. And so, we want to help drive credibility in this area with thought leaders, policymakers, and other important people that can help us ensure that we live out our mission, which really is ensuring that we have fair, valid, and unbiased assessments.
Yeah, I think it's so important. I mean, at Vurvey, we are doing this, we say it's AI powered by people, right? Really allowing the consumer and or internal voice to be heard. So I love hearing about the hackathon. I think that is such a beautiful way to motivate your employees and also source talent, right? Source these bigger ideas. There is a huge opportunity in doing that. So with you already being forward thinking about how to use AI, what do you feel is the future of AI for marketers and brand builders?
I think, it's definitely a future where human connection and human insight is still incredibly important.
Yeah.
As much as we look at utilizing AI to drive innovation, innovation wouldn't be innovation unless it's based on true, authentic insight.
Yep.
Right. And I don't know that AI is going to replace our gut instinct of an understanding of human insight and human needs. So I think marketers in particular and innovators are critically important. We always say to have a human in the loop, and really checking for are what we creating with AI, whether that's models or ideas,
Digital
etc.
assistants, agents,
right.
whatever you want to call
Are
them.
they are the outputs correct? Right, like and have a human in that process to make sure that they're unbiased, they're valid, etc. So you almost are, double checking, I think, for the human insight to delivering on the human need and training models in the right way.
Yeah, the AI is only as good as the information and the human that is feeding it and training it. And so it's crucial to put the human at the center and then being able to augment what they're able to do, accelerate what the human is able to accomplish, and teams are able to layer on with the different versions of digital assistants, if you will, or modeling as well. What do you feel are the expectations that we should place on companies today and marketers and specifically in utilizing AI?
Well, I think the biggest expectation should be responsible use of AI, of course, right? And, in whatever application there is. And part of that responsibility, I think, is being unbiased. I'm probably going to mess up the actual data point, but I recall from some information that the Female Quotient had published, right, that the input of females, for example, into AI, to your point, it's all the input that's getting put in, is much smaller than men inputting. And so how are they learning? How is that AI model learning? And is it going to have a biased view just because of the level of input and the data sources that it's been exposed to?
Super interesting too, because I think about our team is in New Jersey right now training a certain beauty brand, and there are so many females in that room on how to build their agents and how to build their different persona sets and what campaigns they've launched. And so depending on what demographics you're choosing, for whatever brand purpose it is, there is bias in building their agents. So that's that next step of how do we combat that, right? Or how do we lean into it? I think it's a really interesting place that we're finding ourselves right now. And that leads to education around it. I mean, at your core, this is what ETS and what your company does. So how and in what ways can we educate ourselves and our customers about the role of AI in the world today and the impact that it makes?
Yeah, I think there's so many ways. I mean, one is driving thought leadership, I think, so that we get the right thought leaders in the room to have those important conversations. One example is recently we had an ETS convening in DC right after our rebrand in April. And, we brought in a lot of thought leaders from across industries that are utilizing AI. From those that are researchers, obviously publishing, like we do, publishing very important papers and findings about AI, and policymakers, frankly, because we need to be able to help shape some of those policies to help protect people and utilize AI responsibly. So that's one way for sure. I think the other way is to be more innovative in how we utilize AI for what purpose, right? Like, of course, can be fun and, help us create posters or something, right?
There's cool visuals
Cool
of
visuals,
the next
right?
drink or whatever.
Exactly. But, in our business, one of the things that, as I talked about our goal and vision of helping people as lifelong learners achieve what they want, one of the things is measuring skills is very difficult. Right, and most importantly, those durable skills, those human skills, if you will, that are incredibly important for you to be able to demonstrate not only your proficiency in, but your application of. And so some of those skills are communication skills, persistency, grit, creative problem solving, things that you're not going to answer by multiple choice.
Right.
You're not going to, even an open-ended question, you're not going to get a real sense of, does this person really have the skill and are able to apply it? And so using AI, for example, we can advance the science of measurement, which is what we're all about, to actually measure the application of the skill. One of my favorite examples is an app that we have out on the App Store now. It's free, called Authentic.
Okay.
And the use case, it's a communication use case, but we use multimodal AI in order to help assess the skill of interviewing for a job. So it uses generative AI where you could type in, I want to be SVP of marketing. It'll feed back questions that might be typical at that level for that particular job that you could be asked in an interview. Record yourself, and then because of the multi-modes of input,
yep.
Then we've applied learning models and AI models to help generate insights for the person. So, how was the quality and context of your answer? How was the rate of speech that you answered with? What about your eye contact? Things like that might help the person prepare better for an interview.
So interesting. We do the opposite side of it, where we send a Vurvey out to applicants so that they can then respond to it, and we can distill down their fit in it. So it's almost a yin and yang of how to use it, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like there are so many things that we could go on about, but it's been such a pleasure to have you. And
that's been fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks
for the time.
Thanks for being here. Yeah. Absolutely.